Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and yesterday we got the unfortunate news that the Wonder Woman game is being cancelled, and several studios, including Monolith, are being shut down. First and foremost, my heart goes out to all the developers who have lost their jobs recently. It seems to be a continuing trend in the gaming industry that doesn't look to be turning around, and it's really unfortunate because these are the people that provide us with so much entertainment. But as far as what to expect in the future and some reasons this is very disappointing, I want to break them all down in this video. Starting with the Nemesis system. This is one of my favorites. Monolith created Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor and used the Nemesis system in a way that I thought was incredibly unique, exciting, and very fun. And they were intending to use that system in Wonder Woman as well. WB Games has the patent for the Nemesis system for the foreseeable future. I think it's something like 2036, 2038, and they refuse to patent it out, even though it has gone underutilized for so long. And it's really a shame because it is something that I think a lot of other studios could take advantage of and really benefit from. And WB Games could likely earn extra income just by selling the license for a small amount of money that is not going to really cost them anything outside of just allowing someone else to use their idea. And that doesn't seem to be likely anytime soon. I do hope they relinquish it now that Monolith is going away, and they probably won't be using the Nemesis system anymore unless they shoehorn it into a Batman game under Rocksteady or something of that nature. But either way, we won't see it back for at least another 5-7 years, whatever the case may be, and that's an incredible bummer. The other issue that I have is the DC video game options that we have going forward, because we got recent underperformances from games like Gotham Knights, Multiverses, which already shut down, Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, which again already shut down. And it does seem like the heads over at WB Games have learned the wrong lessons, which is incredibly unfortunate. Instead of understanding that players don't want more live service games from studios that excel in single player games and don't have any experience in the live service realm, they just feel like they are going to only give us games that are surefire moneymakers. Think Hogwarts Legacy, Lord of the Rings, and Batman games. And so much so that I feel like the rumored Batman Beyond game from Rocksteady is unlikely. They'll probably return to Arkham just because it is such a safe bet. And why this is unfortunate is there's such a huge roster of DC characters that could make interesting video game heroes, and yet we are left just looking at Batman for the rest of time because WB Games doesn't know what they're doing. This Wonder Woman game probably would have been a mega hit. They had to restart it once already, which is insane to me. It feels like such an easy concept to have a surefire banger. We haven't gotten a Superman game anytime recently. A Green Lantern game could be absolutely insane. The only time we ever see these characters is in fighting games like Injustice or something of that nature, and even that doesn't look like it's going to be happening again anytime soon. And it's just really unfortunate. Gotham Knights wasn't the best game, but I appreciated the attempt. They wanted to use the rest of the Bat family and get creative, and that unfortunately did not deliver on what it could have been. Then we have Multiverses, which was a smash knockoff and just never caught fire. And then Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, which was a looter shooter that just never made sense. I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm a big fan of looter shooters in general, but ultimately I can understand that it had major issues that held it back from being the game that it could possibly be. And if they had done a story-based game with these characters and just extended the campaign out several hours and allowed you to explore Metropolis with these characters in the same type of storytelling, and it would have been told from start to finish, it probably would have been very good, and they could have really done a good job with it, and that would have allowed Rocksteady to expand into taking on other DC characters in the future as well. Instead, we are left now in a only Batman world, and I am incredibly bummed about it. Meanwhile, Marvel is giving us an Iron Man game. We're getting Black Panther game, a Black Panther and Captain America combo game. We've got obviously Marvel Rivals, which is insanely popular, and that's another unfortunate lesson. DC has looked at Marvel Rivals and now they want to create their own competitor. They're simply copycatting what other companies and studios are doing, but they don't have the resources. They don't have the technical prowess to pull these off with what they have currently in place, and they're not going to spend more money and take big risks like these games have in order to make the game as good as it can be. So instead, they'll probably deliver us a cheap knockoff that won't succeed, and they will learn another bad lesson from it. So ultimately, I think WB Games at this point might be fairly doomed to give us only the bare minimum. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something similar to Marvel and start licensing out these characters as well as the Nemesis system. That would make the most sense, so that way they don't take on all of the risk. They can simply allow some of the more creative studios out there to handle these games, and they would not necessarily have to foot the entirety of the bill. Think of Marvel and the Blade game that's coming out from Arcane. That game looks very different from every other superhero game we have. It is a type of character who I think could be very, very successful, but has been under the radar for a very long time outside of being in Marvel's Midnight Suns. So because of that, there is some risk there, but also a high potential for a reward if they pull it off. And that is where I want to see DC characters going in the future, so that way we can get future games. Hopefully, with this revolution on the movie front with James Gunn, he starts to maybe incorporate some of these ideas and crossover with the video game industry. I would love to see interconnected stories with the movies, TV shows, and video games going forward. I think that would be an incredibly unique idea that they could pull off very well under the right leadership. I don't have any faith that it's going to happen. I don't really think we're going to see a change from WB Games anytime soon. They are unfortunately stuck under poor leadership that is going to keep them in a loop of failure for the foreseeable future, and then just putting out some sporadic big hits that are guaranteed to do well just because of the IP they are working under. And so because of that, I am incredibly bummed. It is glum for the future of the DC characters and also the Nemesis system. But we'll have to see. I mean, maybe in a few years this all changes and they're able to right the ship, but I don't trust it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Comment below, like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.